I think we're pretty accustomed to hearing about Christ, the Good Shepherd, who lays down his life for his sheep. And it seems to me that we're accustomed to have this image in our mind of a reference to the cross, that Jesus gives his life for us on the cross as he surrenders himself into the hands of his enemies so that we can find rest in the green pastures of eternity. And it's not wrong. He did indeed lay down his life for us so that we could be provided for. But there's more to this image. And it's captured in the words of Jesus when he says, "I am the gate." It's a bit of a strange image. And so we have to understand a bit more about what shepherding looked like in the time of Jesus. We have to keep in mind that the shepherd who was guiding these sheep was doing so as they were on the move. And so we're not talking about some sheep farm where there's a permanent residence, so to speak, for these sheep, so they come in and go out of the same place every single day. The shepherd is always moving with them from place to place, from field to field, leading them to new pastures and providing them room to move and room to grow. The challenge, of course, with this type of movement with a whole flock of sheep is how to protect them on the move. How to protect them from the predators that are roaming the hillsides, especially at night. And so the shepherd in these instances would set up a kind of temporary fence. And then he would lead the sheep into this little pen, and then he himself would lay down across the opening that would lead into that pen in order to prevent anything from getting in. And so literally, the shepherd became the gate, so that if anything was going to get in, it would have to go through him. And so this is why Jesus says, "I am the gate." It's also why he says he will literally lay down his life for his sheep. He literally lays down in front of the opening into that pen. And he puts himself between the predators that are out there and the sheep who are entrusted to him. And I would just add here that this is the role of a good parent. A good parent will be the gate for their children in the best sense of that word, not locking them up in the basement, but protecting them, shepherding them in a beautiful way, protecting them from things that want to get into the minds of their children, protecting them from the constant, ever-present risks of social media. It means guarding their souls from the enemy, who's always trying to find its way into their minds and into their hearts. And so parents have to be willing to lay down their lives for their children in this way. And sometimes that means making your child mad at you, which a lot of people don't like to do. We like to kind of keep our children on our side and think that we're doing well when we're allowing them to do whatever they want to do. But that's not what a good shepherd does. A good shepherd steps in the middle between the threat and the goodness of their child. And that's often uncomfortable for parents, and it's often aggravating for children. But there's another element to this. We're not meant to stay within the fence all our lives, just like kids can't live in their parents' basement until they're 40. It's necessary for us to listen to the voice of the shepherd, not just calling us in, but who also says, it's time to get out. Like, you got to go. Because there's not enough food in this little pen for you and for the rest of the sheep. So go out. Go out and find another pasture. Find food and nourishment that you need. God wants us to move out so that we don't get stuck. And knowing this, knowing that the Lord wants to keep us moving to new things, to new horizons, it's easier for us to listen to the Lord who is calling us to himself. And God is also calling us to risk. Because while it's nice and safe there in the pen, while it's nice and safe here in this church, God doesn't want us to just stay here. We have to leave our comfort behind so that we can go out and experience real growth from the things that come our way. And we can't do that if we just stay cooped up in our parents' house or in the place of safety. It's the same for us here. We're not meant to live in this church. We're not meant certainly just to live our faith in this church. We can't stay here. First of all, there aren't enough bathrooms. We can't stay. All of us can't stay in this place. Like we can't live here. God wants us out there. Certainly he wants to nourish us here and to provide for us here, but God wants us out there. God wants us in our community and to live our faith in our community. God wants us out there to help others to know the voice of the shepherd when he's calling. God wants us out there so that we can say to our brothers and sisters who are just famished for meaning in their lives, people who are just hungering for something that can give them a reason to get out of bed in the morning, it's for us to go out and to say, come with me. Come with me and meet someone who can shepherd you rightly. Someone who can lead you to pastures where your soul can be fed. Someone who has come to say to you, I've not come for death, but I've come to give them life and life in abundance. This is what the Lord calls us to. Get out of your pew and get out there and invite people into a relationship with him. And so this is the work that is given to us. But that decision is left on us. You know, it's very clear in the gospel, which is unusual, that the shepherd, Jesus the shepherd, is walking in front of his sheep. This is an unusual position for a shepherd. Usually the shepherd would be behind the sheep, telling them to keep going. But in this instance, it tells us that the good shepherd is in front of his sheep because he trusts that the sheep are listening to his voice. There's no sense of prodding or kicking from behind. God doesn't impose on us. He just says, look, I'm going. And where I'm going, you want to go, but I'm not going to push you there. And so listen to my voice and follow me. The good shepherd simply calls and invites, and the rest is up to us. And so let's ask the Lord, as we are nourished in this Eucharist by his presence, and as we come to know his voice with a greater sense of familiarity in this Eucharist, let's ask the Lord that we can go out into the world living as missionaries in our community, offering something to our brothers and sisters. Let's not disappoint them, because they're waiting for us, waiting to know the shepherd who's calling them to a greater life. And so let's listen to his voice, and let's do the work that he's inviting us to do.